808. Drop it down for my 808. She likes the sound of my 808. Drop it down for my 808. She likes the sound of my 808. Drop it down for my 808. She likes the sound of my 808. She likes the sound of my 808.
Drop it down for my 808. Drop it down for my 808. Drop it down for my 808. Drop it down for my 808.
She likes the sound of my 808.
Drop it down for my 808.
She likes the sound of my 808.
Drop it down for my 808.
She likes the sound of my 808.
Drop it down for my 808.
What up, what up? My track, My 808. My 808 featuring my sister, Nessa Rose on the vocals. Shout out to my sister there. If you guys get a chance to work with some of your siblings, I recommend it. It's great to see the art that your siblings create and how it relates to your art. So, welcome, guys. It is week 16, I believe, of Juanton's Tech House Production live stream. We're back with episode 16 here, guys. I'm going to continue working on this track. I'm trying to finish. We started the last 2 weeks trying to mix it down. But this week, I also wanted to play around a little bit with experimenting on different ways to add saturation to our productions. I saw a tweet from Sammy Legs earlier this week that was pretty cool, got me inspired to play around. So after a little bit of mixing here, we're going to see if we can play around with some of those ideas and come up with cool ways to find some more saturation, because you can never have enough. Am I right? Am I right? All right, guys, if you're new to the stream, this is a live stream where I share my production process with you guys. We're focused really on tech house production, but a lot of the things here can be applied to all sorts of dance music genres. We're streaming live every Tuesday night at 6 p.m. Pacific time, so tune in. If you can't, don't worry. I upload all the streams onto YouTube every week, so you can always go back there and catch the content that you missed out on. So make sure to hit that follow button or hit that subscribe button if you're over on YouTube so that you can get notified every time I upload a new video or go live. And a quick question for you guys. What is it that you would like to see? What problems are you struggling with as a producer? What things can I help you better with? Please let me know in the chat or drop a comment below if you're on YouTube. Or you can always send me an email, juan@juantonmusic.com. All right, so this week, really want to take care of this kick thing that I've been having an issue with. I'll get into that in a second. I wanted to play around with what a clap looks like, and I really want to add a new ride. So let's see if we can knock those out here. Before we dive in, I did want to say, put up this little demo thing for you guys. Boom. Send your demos to Juan at juantonmusic.com. And at the end of the stream, I'm going to give you guys live feedback. We do a couple tracks every week, and I'm hoping to get more producers in here sharing their tracks with me, as well as you guys that are watching, so we can get more feedback. Feedback is key, folks. All right. Now let's get into our happy place here. Good old Ableton Live. So you guys are probably familiar with this track already. If you're not, this is a remix that I did for my buddy Pavones. He did the track originally. The vocals say, yo, I'm Pac-Man. Dope track. Gave me the idea to make this remix. I use a lot of cool sounds from Pac-Man. Been sitting on this remix for a while, and I want to release this as a free download. So I'm coming back to it, and I'm trying to mix it with new ears, new techniques that I've learned over the last year or so since I originally made this track. So let's get back into it. So right now, the issue that I'm having, I think I've talked about this before. I'm trying to use a kick click to take care of my kicks here. So I typically will use like Nicky Romero's kickstart to duck the kick. So that only works perfectly if your kick is exactly 4x4. So one kick on every quarter beat. In this track specifically, like right here, we can zoom in. We see I do the little double kick here. Yeah, so a little double kick here. And there's a few other places I have little kick fills and whatnot. And I want to make sure that the kick is still punching through the mix at those times. So what I'm working on right here, show you guys, I got the kick click right here set up. So I just made this tiny little click sample here. The reason why is because this is going to engage and disengage my sidechain compressor very quickly. So I don't want it to be holding the compressor down for a long period of time. Just like literally a split second, I want it to activate, and then the release to immediately engage to let that track come back and not be like ducking the whole track. So got that going, and now all I'm doing is just copying and pasting it everywhere that the kick is. So I'm paying attention to the fills or where I have double kicks and whatnot. So let me just finish that here. We're pretty close. Just gonna copy this over. Oh, looks like we're actually in the break. So I have some single kicks over here for the break. This one's gonna be a little tricky. So we can go double, double. Then it goes smaller there. And then we have another single. This one's a triple hit. And then just paste this. This is a double again. Oops. Triple. Another triple here. Triple, triple. We got a single. Okay, and then we get back to our full loop. So I know I can Copy that here. Accent kick 4x4. That one's accent. This is 4x4. We're just going to get rid of this piece here. Once more, we'll duplicate that. And then we're going to go 4-4. So pretty simple, right? Just kind of copy, paste, delete. I already have a little double section over here I can grab. Where's the double? Boom. So here's going to be a double section. Great. Okay, and this little section, we have it 4 in a row. And then one last time. Boom. Okay, so now I have that little click there. I'm going to make it white because I know that anything that's white is typically not its own track. Actually, I don't like white because that's my returns. We'll do like a light gray. Now here's the trick. So you can hear this. Watch. Obviously, we don't want that crappy little kick in our track, so you just turn the volume down. But if we go look at our bass now, here, so we got bass, sidechain. So now this compressor is, instead of coming from the kick, I'm just going to do it from kick, click here. So see that little tickle it's doing there. I'm going to use more of this. So it's really this guy that I'm worried about. Okay, kick, click again. All right, so now. I think it might just need to come up a bit. Let me see here. Whoops. Where is SonarWorks? There it is. Throw SonarWorks on my master really quick because I just want to be able to listen with this EQ curve enabled. Just feel like this bass sounds so quiet for some reason. Maybe it just needs some love from Decapitator and Synoxis. And I'm going to throw one thing else on there for you guys. We're going to be playing around today. I guess we can get into it. So I want to play with some of the Waves EQs that we have. So really focus today on, I'm going to turn this off for now. Turn off Sonar Works. Quig Tech EQ P1A. Okay, so these are some plugins from. This is a plugin from Waves that freezes my computer apparently. Oh, don't tell me Ableton's really frozen. Okay, there we go. Whew. Nothing ruins your day like a freeze. All right, so these EQs were used back in the day. These were real analog hardware EQs, you know, and what people did with them is that they would boost, and then you have this attenuate knob. So you have one frequency, 20, 30, 60, 100 hertz, and then you have another frequency for the top. So you kind of have like one EQ here, one EQ here. One is for the low, one is for the mid or high boost. But what was cool about these EQs is like if you boosted into them, or if you did like an EQ boost and then that same area you did a cut, right? You would imagine that the sound wouldn't change much at all because you're like counteracting those EQ cuts. But because of the hardware that you're going through, simply going through the EQ added its own sound, its own flavor, its own warmth. So now it's the 20th century. We don't have any of that warmth, any of that hardware because everything is digital. But we make plugins to emulate that. So Waves makes a plugin, and if you look around specifically for the Pultec, it's actually Pultec is the original, Pultec, I believe, Pultec. If you look up for Pultec EQ emulations, you'll find a bunch of different softwares that are trying to mimic it, but I definitely recommend sticking with some brands that you trust. Waves is a good one. I know another brand that does it is what company is it? UAD. UAD makes really good plugins. They're typically more expensive, or you have to like have like the Apollo Twin to get access to some of those plugins. But I like the Waves one. And what we're going to do here is we're just going to do a little boost and then attenuation about the same amount. And of course, we can't do anything without our main man, Synoxis over here. The way I'm using the sidechain too is not really going to work for me. But just going to take the compressor. Going to leave it for now. We'll come back to it. Let's do Decapitator first. So with Synoxis open and on, we can see what we're working with here. Okay. Pull my Decapitator up here too. She'll turn it off. Turn off Pultec. All right. Okay. Cool. So I'm sitting at about 0 right here, right? Before we do this 4.4 cut here. But the peaks are right at minus 0.2. So now let's put Decapitator here. Just gonna do the Pultec first and listen, see if I can listen to what's going on here. Okay, so with it on, we're getting a huge boost, 5.26. So it's hard to know if that's doing anything. Okay, we'll go up a bit. So that's about the same. Cool. So now that that's the same, let's listen before and after, see if we can notice a difference, just so the channel for now. Okay, so very subtle. Let's play around with the frequencies. I think we want the bandwidth up. Just playing with the frequency of this second one here. So doing kind of a boost and a cut, same thing. So you don't have to have them exactly. Like imagine you're doing a big boost and then you're attenuating that just a bit. So you're kind of meeting it in the middle. So I am putting a boost on the low end here. That's why we're seeing an increase in the gain. But just kind of play around with the knobs. And I'm going to test something really quick because I've read before that with hardware plugins, you're supposed to go into the hardware at like minus 18 decibels because that's how hardware was built back in the day. So let's try doing this really quick. We're going to get a utility. We're going to put it onto our track in front of the PwigTech. We're going to go minus 18 in before we go into it, and then we're going to go 18 after. Oh, give me a quick second, guys. BRB. Sorry about that, guys. Let's get back into this. All right. Okay, so we're playing around with this guy here. What I want to see really quick, I think I have some kind of meter. Let's see if these are the meters I'm looking for. Let's see. Nope. I really want like an oscilloscope. Oscilloscope. I have one. What is it called? Let's go take a look at the plugins. Okay. So there's like this type of meter. I think it's called an oscilloscope, and it's for looking at like the waveforms, and you really can get deep on what the saturation is actually doing to the signal. And I wish I could show you guys here, but I might be able to do it with spectrum. I think if we put it on linear and then okay. So it's really hard to tell with the spectrum. But really what you're doing when you're saturating things is you're adding harmonics later down in the frequency spectrum. Even compression can add some harmonics, and saturation is really just about adding harmonics. So, um, saturation, distortion, they're all really trying to accomplish the same thing. But here, like, sometimes you can kind of put a plugin on here like this, and um, it'll sound very subtle, but when you do that over like 5, 6, 7, 8 different sounds in your track, and then maybe you put another one of these on a group for the low end or a group for a bunch of bass sounds, like all that tiny bit of saturation starts to add up, and you're adding warmth. And especially like this one, you have the mains. The main is going to actually add like sound to it. So you can see, watch when I turn this off, there's no sound floor. When I turn it on, I have sound floor. So this is 60 hertz. It's like coming from your wall, right? It's just AC hum, and it's adding it in there. And you want to be careful. You don't want to just add, 100 different sounds with this in there. But definitely on the main sounds, or if you're like on the drum groups, like it does not hurt to add a little bit of noise, because all that noise is just gonna add a little bit of warmth and like meat to the song as a whole. In this case, I'm gonna leave it off just for now. Actually, I wouldn't mind a little bit on the bass. You can almost hear it if you just really listen. Literally listening to noise over here. Okay, so okay, so now let me just listen with it, without it. So here's a little trick for you guys. Watch. So I do this a lot when I'm trying to test whether something sounds good or not. Is I'll close my eyes. I'm gonna cycle this on and off a bunch of times, too many to keep track of in my head. Then I'm gonna listen, click it again, listen, all with my eyes closed, see if I can hear anything. So here we go. And then open your eyes and see if you were tricking yourself or not. It is very subtle, so I'm not hearing a lot here, and part of that probably has to do with these headphones. I just don't think I can produce the sub frequencies as well as I need to. What I've done in the past is use my sub pack, and it like goes in my chair here behind me, provides that low end. I've been pretty happy with that, but I got to be honest, man, having the little thing here all the time is annoying. So you take it off, and then you don't want to put it back on. The struggles, the struggles we go through for mix downs, but it's worth it sometimes. So maybe I'll pull that out here for one of these upcoming streams. But I'm just gonna leave. Oh, actually, before we get into that, I remember I was working on this. So we're doing 18 decibels going down and 18 back up. So now when we're coming into the meter, we're coming in lower. We should be. Yeah. So look, minus 18 is what I'm coming in with. But then once I add the gain back, I'm right back at 0 where I started. So you just put the gain before and after the PwigTech. So if you're doing any kind of like analog software, you definitely want to do that. You can just group them together like this too. It's really easy. Now, did I notice a difference at minus 18 versus not minus 18? Not really, if I'm being honest with you. But again, could just be my listening environment. All right, so the next thing we're going into is the capitator. See if I can add a little warmth here. 0.08, then decapitator. Bass. I typically like mid driver. Not a big fan here. Okay, now I'm gonna listen to it in the mix because don't want to make too many decisions. Think the capitator is a little too much. I'm gonna try Saturn this time. I think really I don't want to saturate that low end there. I like the low end as it is. I just want to saturate these upper frequencies. Okay, so if you do, this is the level itself. So you want to be careful like adjusting this because you're going to be, it's almost like using EQ, right? It's like I'm doing a 20 decibel boost up here. So don't necessarily want to do that. Let's leave the level down. But the drive, the type of saturation is here. And then you can actually do the level here as well. I'm not too good with this tone section, so I typically leave it to whatever settings come through. But let's just let's try gentle saturation. Go to a different drop here. It's a little bit less busy. No feedback. Let's try a different saturation. So see that there? I had the sound in, right? I turned on the mains. Now it's going through Saturn, and it's getting turned way up. So definitely I want to turn it off in this case. So things to consider. If I wanted to keep it on, then I would probably want to put the Pwigtech after at the end of my chain. Let's put Saturn back here. Okay. That's making more sense. I wasn't seeing any change in Synoxis, and it was because I had Saturn after my Synoxis. Thought I was just tripping myself. Okay.
Yo, I'm Pac-Man.
Okay. So I'm digging that. The last thing I want to do, so let's take a look at, I want to show you guys something. The spectrum that I have on my master. So check out my kick. Okay, so we're peaking up to -1 there. I want to see what's causing that. Okay, and then I'm going to check it with my bass here. So I'm worried that every time that well, I guess that wasn't the problem. So kind of funny. I thought that when the bass and the kick were hitting together, we were getting that big peak, but it turns out that the kick was doing it even without the bass, which is surprising to me. Why? And it seems to only happen on the double kicks here. That little boost there, which is interesting because it's interesting because this isn't a higher velocity. It's the same velocity. But when it's on the offbeat, it seems to hit harder. Huh. Any ideas there? Let me know in the chat. A little tricky there.
Yo,
I think the drums are a little loud there. Okay, I got Sonar Works on now. That's why it's sounding a little weird. Okay, so happy with that. Now the coming back to the sidechain thing, the way that I have this now, it uses the LFO tools to do like my own form of ducking, basically just once every quarter, but that's not going to work, right? Because we have that double kick. So I'm just going to take this compressor, I'm going to pull it out of that sidechain tool, I'm going to just nix the tool. We're just going to use good old Ableton compression. Now we're just going to solo the kick and the bass here. That's really what I really care about. Gotta figure out why this kick hits like that. I guess I just gotta do it. Reduce the velocity. It's just kind of strange. Okay, so that's I like that, but there's a few times where the kick and the bass hit together. So I'm gonna do. That's fine. I'm gonna do Pro MB. I'm gonna hit this band over here. I'm going to go to Expert. We're gonna go to In, so it should automatically do it. But over here, we're gonna click this little button. Oh, don't need to. It's already there. Sidechain. We're gonna choose our kick click once again. Okay. So we're gonna go external. What's really cool in FabFilter plugins is if you just hover over something, it pops up this little help over here. So in this case, I was curious what's the difference between band and free here. So let's take a look. Hover over it. The sidechain filtering mode can be set to either band or free. When set to the default band mode, the band's own signal will be used for triggering. When set to free, a sidechain filtering control will appear in the display, so you can select the high and low pass frequencies of the sidechain filter path. This enables a band to trigger on a totally different frequency range than the range of the band itself. Interesting. Oh, I see. That's what this is here. The band's own signal will be used for triggering. Okay, so see how you're seeing two waveforms here when I click that audition? I think that's like the click sample. So now I see the click sample over there, then I can just zone in this little frequency. This is going to be what activates the sidechain. I could just put it maybe on this highest piece over here. So now that signal is activating the sidechain. Okay, so let's talk about what we're doing here. Um, I'm using this so that when my kick hits, only the bass frequency on the bass will get ducked, so that the high end of the bass will be on there. Because like if you look at my bass here and my kick, they hit on the same notes a lot. So they hit on the same notes here, and then this is the off note. Okay, then we sync back up here. So at the bottom of it looks like the first note of each bar, and then I believe when we do the double hit. Nope, not even on the double hit. Sweet. So it's really just this first one, this main one here. When these two combine, I don't want there to be a big increase in bass. I just want the kick's bass to take control because the kick is hitting right at that frequency. So that's what I'm doing here is I'm just getting this. So you actually duck it like this. This is the range. Don't need too much range. But we can pull this down now. Okay, so probably just below 60 hertz. So like there's a good example. There's the bass plays with no kick right here. So you can see that this isn't doing anything.
Yo, I'm Pac-Man.
Cool. So happy with that. All right. So I'm pretty happy with that kick stuff that we did there. So I wanted to play with some saturation. Now I was referring to something that I saw from Sammy Legs on Twitter. So let's go take a look at that. Sammy Legs says, pro tip. Use your analog emulation software for soft clipping. A lot of analog delays EQs will also alter harmonics just by driving into them. Make sure to turn delay time to minimum, not sync, 100% wet. Sound Toys Echo Boy is a great saturator. Tremulators are good for clipping. So let's play around with this. So he says Echo Boy. I know I got Echo Boy from Sound Toys. Let's go take a look. And what should we play with here? Synth wise. I think maybe the Pac-Man sound. Let's see. Nope. Okay, I see. See if we can play with this guy a little bit. We're just gonna get a Spectrum on here first, and then let's go get Echo Boy Jr. Whoops, Echo Boy works. And of course, Synoxis, just in case, make sure we're not, make sure we're gain staging properly. So, okay, this Echo Boy, he says we're going to turn time to minimum 0.0. Let's try that. Dry wet, 100%. Delay time to minimum, 100% wet. Okay. So then maybe we can just use the feedback to add here. Oh, it also has saturation, which is awesome. Oh, see, this alone is worth it. All these different types of saturation. So just play around, guys. This is really, really useful here. So let's try. Without it, minus 401. With it. Wow, that low frequency rumble right there. I could just record that. So I'm going to leave the width at a minimum. And now we're just basically playing with the saturation. Okay, so it's definitely quieter. $7.91. So now let's turn the output up. What was it before, Echo Boy? Minus 417. Pretty close there. And then with and without it. So without it. With it. Slightly different. Let's hear it in the mix. Without. With. Okay, and like I said earlier, let's do the eye test here. So I'm going to turn it, close my eyes, off and on. Don't know what it is here, so let me listen to it. Okay. Yeah, this is on, and this definitely has a little more bite to it. So there you go. That's a cool way to add some saturation. Thanks, Sammy Legs, for that one. Use your analog emulation software for clipping, huh? All right, so that was pretty cool, Echo Boy. I've never done that one before, using a delay like that. What other things do I have? Let's go look at, he says tremulator. Let's try tremulator as well. Tremulator. This is also Sound Toys. Wait. So now check this, guys. I want you to pay attention, really. So without the Echo Boy, look at this wave, right? So it's probably not going to look too different, but pay attention up here above 10K, this little scoop up here. Now when I add it, so it's just a little bit higher than it was down here. So that's a little brightness that's being added. So I know the saturation is doing something. Now it's hard to tell in here what's going on, but there's definitely harmonics being added there, as with any saturation. Okay. Now, let's get Synoxis over here too. We're gonna try it with Tremolator. So same thing applies. He says Tremolator is good for clipping. So rhythmic amplitude modulation. Oh, I'm at 125. So we'll leave it on Cool. So then I see. So you can push into it. So we could definitely clip with this. So we said -4 16, I think. A little too loud. We'll go back one. So it's 409. Okay, so now when he says drive into it, he means we know the output. We can set the output here to -4.09. Now we can just push the input. As you really start pushing it, it does drop down. Is there something to clip it down here? Oh, here we go. So we got the analog style. Gotcha. Controlled attack release rate mod. So none of this should really be working because we have the depth all the way down to minimum. So it's just a matter of picking our analog style here and then driving into it. And we can really push it to the red here and then use the output to back it back down. So there's clean, fat, squad. I think dirt sounded pretty good. Got to be careful with the output. Make sure we're not tricking ourselves. -803. Okay, so this is about the same input output as our before it. So let's turn it off. On. Okay, guys, check that out. So this is crazy. Our peaks were -3.96 right there, both the left and the right channel. Turn on Tremolator. We're at -415 at both the left and the right channel. So that's crazy. So basically we are bringing the overall level, we're bringing, what is it? The apparent level, right? We're bringing what it sounds like up, making it louder, but the peaks are actually going down. So those peaks are going to be hitting our limiter less. They're going to be, and because of that, the limiter is going to be reacting to everything a little bit better because this one sound's not taking up, just that tiny bit more space. And I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but now it's too loud. So listen. Yeah, it's way too loud in the mix. So now I get to turn it down. So it's at -4. I'm going to do a utility before and after Synoxis so we can see exactly how much we're turning it down. Utility. We're going to duplicate Synoxis. So here's our Synoxis. It's after the utility. I don't know what I did there, but scared the hell out of me for a second. Let's see here. So now if I turn off, let me see. Turn off tremulator and then listen. Oh, wrong spot. It's a lot louder, so I'm going to turn the volume down. I'm just trying to match them with my ears now. A little bit quieter. Okay, it sounds about volume match to me in the mix, so just really quick. Maybe go up a tiny bit. Oops, that was not a tiny bit. So yeah, about 2. So yeah, Synoxis shows us that now we're at -6. The peaks are at -6, and the RMS is at -7. So now I'm saving 2.3 decibels of gain on this track just by adding that bit of saturation there. And now, if you do that on all of kind of your main leads, you're really going to create a lot more space for the mix to breathe, for the limiter to not have to work so hard to clamp down on all those transients. And that's kind of the goal with saturation, with compression. Compression specifically is trying to solve that goal. But saturation kind of does it indirectly because we're creating more harmonics. We're filling up that frequency spectrum of the sound without increasing the volume. So I know that's kind of a tricky concept, and especially for newer producers, that's probably what took the longest time for me to wrap my head around, is how compression and saturation works to like make things louder. All right. Anyways, hopefully you guys found that helpful. A little bit of experimentation there. I'm thinking of maybe incorporating some more experimentation into the stream to see, what kind of new stuff I can show you guys. And to that point, just to let you guys know, I'm thinking about how I can change the stream. I'm starting to feel like once a week is a little difficult to bring something with me every week to give you guys great information. I want to make this as helpful to you guys as possible. So I'm considering going to like maybe a bi-weekly cadence or twice a month, first and third Tuesdays of the month or something like that, just so that it gives me a little more time to prep for that week and potentially work with some other people. So there's a lot of things I want to do, but I want to put a little more time and effort into it. So in the coming weeks, you guys may be hearing from me on a bit of a schedule change, as well as some exciting up and coming episodes and guests potentially. So just want to share that with you guys. I'm going to take a peek at my email, see if we have any demo requests for the week. Let's see here. Not seeing anything. No worries. So then I'm just going to continue on working here, see if we get one. If not, then we will continue next week there. But let's see what else we can get done. So I'm just going to get rid of Synoxis for a moment here. Get rid of the Spectrum Synoxis. especially Spectrum. Got to be careful with leaving a bunch of those all over your DAW and all these channels, because they can kind of eat up CPU when you have a lot of them running, because they're just constantly reading and analyzing. Cool. Just gonna listen through this last drop really quick. Okay, this little vocal thing needs to come up. Reverse synth verb. I also want to make this delay last longer. I feel like it just goes out too early. Okay, these little ghost sounds, I feel like they're a little too in the front of the mix. I can push those to the back of the mix. I have a hall verb. I'm just going to push those. Probably need an EQ on this too. Make sure that low end's taken care of. See this stuff here? You'll never hear it, but all that stuff makes your mix muddy. So gonna just take that low end, specifically on sounds that don't need it. The one thing I would really make sure you leave down there in the low end, your kick, obviously, your bass, obviously, right? But if you have lead synths or you have like auxiliary bass sounds, those do need to have a little bit of low end, and specifically male vocals. Don't like cut too much bass in the male vocals. I hardly ever cut the low end on the male vocals, anything higher than like 100, just because you do need a little bit of that for weight. And when I say weight, I mean like people would say your mix feels thin, or feels like it lacks punch, or it lacks weight. It's like that low mid stuff that you kind of need. Okay, so getting back to our little ghost sound here. I don't want to take out some of the high end. It's a little harsh. But I'm just going to do a bit of a high shelf. And I'm going to push him to the back. Actually, I'm going to take maybe even a bit of a high pass, because I'm trying to push the sound back in the mix. I want it to sound like the ghosts are just kind of like running around behind Pac-Man or whatever the listening position is. So one of the ways I'm doing that was with the reverb, a hall verb, which is a little bit longer. It's like a 1 second delay or a 2 second delay. So it's gonna push it back a little bit, but reducing the high end also pushes it back, because if you're like in a big room and you make a sound and the sound goes all the way to the wall and bounces back, what they found is that like the really high end typically dies out faster than the mids and the low end. So if you're pushing something into the back of the room, then you would expect it to come back with less high end, is kind of the idea. So that's what I'm gonna do here, is take a little bit of the high end off. He's back there a little bit. See The other thing that helps make something feel farther away is simply volume. Let's just bring it down a bit. And maybe even, does this one have delay on it already? I think I might have just turned it all off. Right click. Yeah, so these are all turned off. Therefore, get rid of them. And really, I can just ungroup this. I'm going to put the EQ on. Oh, I see there's two ghosts here. My bad. I'll leave it on there then, because we have this ghost as well. Little ghost. Same thing.
Yo.
Okay, maybe that's a little too much for that guy. Okay, I'm probably going to move this EQ back to just being on this ghost because I think it's impacting that one too much. We'll put a similar EQ on ghost 4 here. Just a little bit delay, I think, would help push him back there as well. Delay. Still he sucks. Don't think these reverbs are really getting the idea I want. So I'm going to do a Valhalla verb just on its own. Let's try Valhalla vintage. Big fan of vintage verb. Let's do... something like that. Mm. Oh, let's try some presets. Ambiances, huge spaces. They sound awful. Chaotic, sanctuary. Not digging any of these at all. Try Valhalla Room. Oh, that's Shimmer. I'm gonna do large chamber. There we go. Just wanted to push him in the back a bit.
Yo, I'm Pac-Man.
Yo,
I'm Pac-Man.
I'm Pac-Man. Vocal writer. Feels to me like vocal writer is needed to just balance out this vocal because
Yo, I'm Pac-Man.
that seems too loud. So don't want to do that on every single track, so I'm just gonna get moderate ride.
I'm Pac-Man. Yo, 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 I'm Pac-Man.
That's a little better.
Yo, yo.
Gonna turn this guy up a bit. Sounds too quiet. And I can zero him out too.
Yo.
I feel like this first hit, for whatever reason, is just too quiet. So I'm gonna, just Command E right here. Just turn this guy up. Oops, definitely not 20. I was thinking like 2.
Yo.
All right. Guys, I think I'm pretty happy with that. I don't know that there's too much left to do. I'll probably be giving this a few listens in the coming days. Give it a listen in the car. See if I'm making any good decisions, especially with these headphones. But typically, the car, I can just really tell if the bass is like knocked in or not, if it needs to come up, or if weird things are happening down there. So I'll be doing that check and doing some final touches here. But I'm pretty happy with this, guys. Think I'm going to be releasing this sometime in December as a free download, so you guys can have this song, play around with it, maybe even drop it in your sets. I know you're thinking about it. So since I don't have any demos this week, guys, I think I'm going to call it a wraps. Thanks for tuning in. Once again, I'd love to know what you guys are struggling with, what you guys are learning. If you have questions, please feel free to email me, juan@juantonmusic.com. Anytime, any questions that you guys have, or just drop it right there in the comments if you're watching this on YouTube. Don't forget to click follow or subscribe if you're over on YouTube. Hit that little bell notification icon so you'll get notified every time I upload a new video. Until next time, guys, stay creative, stay producing, stay hungry. I'll see you next time. Peace. Let's see if we can get some music in here, though, before we leave, huh?
Big rock beach, yeah, fella, alright.